Okay, so here we're going to start Unit 4, Lesson 5. We're going to write equations, so the last time we gave you slope and y-intercept, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to give you 2 points. So I can find the slope and y-intercept from multiple representations. We have to find those ourselves, also given a table too. I can write the equation of a line from multiple representations. So using the slope and y-intercept, I can write the line. What 2 values do you need to write the equation? So if you want to write the equation, you know what m and b are. And b. What are the variables? The variables are x and y. Okay, so the big idea, these are variables because they represent any point in the line. A point has coordinates. Okay, so any point, there's an x coordinate and a y coordinate. So anytime you know a point on the line, you have specific values for x and y, which can help you find m and b. Okay, so when we give you information like a table or points, we're giving you the x and y. You can use those to find the m and the b. Okay, so essentially when you write this, there's 4 things we don't know. If we give you 3 of those, you can find the other one, or in any different combination. So generally, when we give you this information, which is basically points, first off, you want to find the slope. Okay, so find the slope, and then once you have the slope, we're going to find the y-intercept. So this is the order we're going to do pretty much every time today. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and write the equation, because once you have the slope and y-intercept, you can write the equation just like we did last week. So the first thing I want to do is look for slope, then find the y-intercept, then I have all the information I need to write the equation. So write the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points. Okay, so first off, I want to find the slope. So a couple of days ago, lessons ago, we had 2 points. We had to find the slope between 2 points. And if you remember, you subtract the y's on top and the x's on bottom. And it really didn't matter which one you put first. But if I used the y from the first point, I got to use the x from the first point here. And then if this is from the second point, or I could switch those and the formula still works. Okay, so if I want to find the slope here, I'm going to look at the y's. Okay, and I think it's easier to go 6 minus 2. So if I did 6 minus 2 on top, I got to do 1 minus 3 on bottom. So 6 minus 2, that's 4. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. Okay, now find the y-intercept using any point. So what we're saying here is I just found m. I know that I got y equals mx plus b is like my generic equation. So plug negative 2 in for m. So now I have y equals negative 2x plus b. If I'm trying to find b, it'd be really nice if I had an x and a y. So if I could just find an x and a y, plug them in, I could solve for b. Well, up here I have an x and a y, and there I have an x and a y. Doesn't matter which one you pick, just pick one. Okay, so right here, x equals 1 and y equals 6. That's what I'm going to use. Again, you could use 3 and 2 if you want, that's fine. So I'm going to plug in 1 for x, so it would be negative 2 times 1 plus b equals y, which is 6. Because when I plug in 1, I should get 6. When you plug in 3, you should get 2. So if you put a 3 here, put a 2 there, and solve for b, you get the same answer. So this is negative 2. So if that's negative 2, I'm going to add 2 to both sides. That means b equals 8. Okay, so if I have the m and I have the b, that's kind of like a question we gave you last week. We gave you the m, we gave you the b, and we say write the equation. Well, that'd be y equals, the m is negative 2, and the b is 8. So we'd plug them in the appropriate spot. Okay, so write the equation. It's as simple as that. Now, let's try another one. So write the equation of the line that passes through the points. First step, step number 1, find the slope. What's the slope between these two guys? So look at the y's first. I'm going to go 9 minus 6. That means I'm going to go negative 4 first minus 8. So this would be a 3 over negative 12, which is a negative 1/4. So that's my m. Okay, so first step was find the m. Step 2, find the y-intercept. So using this m and using one of those points, I want to plug into this equation, y equals mx plus b. The m is negative 1/4. Pick an x, doesn't matter which one you choose here. These both being positive, I'll try that one. So the last time we did the first point, this time I'll do the second point. So plug in 8 for x, plug in 6 for y, and then solve for b. So 1/4 of 8, so if I took 8 divided by 4, that's 2, and then it's negative. So negative 2 plus b equals 6. Add 2 to both sides. I get 8 equals b. So this one, I've got y equals, my m was negative 1/4. My b was 8. Now I've had 2 in a row where the b, or the y-intercept, was 8. That's a coincidence, not going to happen every time. Okay, so flip this guy over. Now what if, instead of giving you points, two points, I give you a table? Some of you are probably thinking, well, how is that any different? All you did was you gave me more information, because now here's several points. In fact, how many points are given? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 points are being given here. How many points do we need to find slope? Well, from the front side we figured out it's just 2. And then once we have the slope, once we have that slope, so going back here and looking at these guys, once I had the slope of negative 2, how many points did I need to find the equation? I just needed 1. Okay, so on this one, the answer, I just need 1 point to finish right in the equation. So pick any 2 points out of these guys. To keep it simple, I'm going to start with the first 2. I'm going to try to find the slope. Okay, so the slope, I'm going to subtract the y's on top. Okay, I can go negative 5 minus 4 or 4 minus negative 5. I'm going to go 4 minus negative 5. So 4 was my first y, negative 6 needs to be my first x. Notice these are both negatives, so I had to do minus negative, which is actually plus in both cases. Okay, so that would be 9/6, which reduces to 3/2. So there's my m. Okay, if I want to start writing my equation, y equals 3/2 x plus something. I got to find the b. Okay, so going back to y equals mx plus b, I'm going to plug in 3/2 in for m. And now pick any point, any of these points. I can use one of the 2 I already used. I can use a new point if you want. It really doesn't matter. Okay, I'll just, let's see. I'm not sure any of them is going to be a whole lot. Since they're all even, it won't be too bad. Let's just pick this one right here. So I'm going to say negative 6. When I plug in negative 6, I should get 4. Because this says the input's negative 6, the output's 4. So 3/2 of 6, well, think of that as, if I triple negative 6, that'd be negative 18, and take half of that is negative 9. Okay, and then add 9 to both sides. So b would be 13. So plus 13, there's my answer. Okay. Now, so that was given a table, and now we're going to do one given a graph, which is kind of the same thing as a table, because every point on this line is a solution. So it's like they gave me infinite number of points. Now some of them are nicer than others. So some of them a little bit cleaner points, because some of these will be both whole numbers. Like right here, this would be both whole numbers. What's that? Negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be negative 6 comma negative 2. But this point right here is also 1. It's just, it would be like negative 5 2/3 or something like that. And I mean, it has some weird decimals, so we don't really want those points, but they would work. So we've done this before, where we were given a graph. We find the slope, we find the y-intercept. Well, why is this one different though? This one's different because the y-intercept is off the graph. Okay, so this y-intercept, I can't tell what the y-intercept is. I can find the slope pretty quick. So write 2 points found on the line. Try to choose nice points. Okay, so let's say right here and right here. So the slope between those, think how far up or down did it go? It went down 3, that's -3. It went over 1, +1. So the slope on this guy, the slope on this would be -3 over 1, or just -3. So I've got my slope. So y equals mx plus b. I'm going to plug in -3. And I know when I plug in a number, say -6, I should get -2. Okay, so if I go, let's see here. So this would be 18 plus b equals -2. Subtract 18. That means b is going to equal -20. So my slope is -3, my y-intercept is -20. Y equals -3x minus 20. Okay, so simple enough. I mean, it's not a whole lot different. Okay, and then number 4. This is a situation or a word problem. Again, don't get overwhelmed by these. Think, what are the coordinates? What are the points? So after 5 months, Sam had 53 video games, and it seems like time is dictating how many video games he has. So that would be my x and my y. After 11 months, he has 95. Okay, so what are my points here? My points are 5 months, 53, and then 11 months, 95. So this guy's, Sam's collecting a lot of video games here. Assuming he collects the same number of video games per month, how many video games will he have after 24 months? So we know after 11 months how many he has. We don't know what 24 would give us. So same thing as the front side. Step 1, find the slope. So look at the y's. Okay, here are my y values. I'm going to go 95 minus 53. And then my x's, since I picked 95 first, 11 has to be first. Okay, so I subtract this, I get 42 over 6, which would be 7. So my slope is 7. Okay, so find the slope, now find the y-intercept. So y equals mx plus b, plug in 7. Now I get to pick either one of these. So I know that after 5 months I should have 53, so if I plug a 5 in here I should get 53. Okay, so this would be 35 plus b equals 53 minus 35, and that's 18. So what this is saying is, for every month that passes, he gets 7 more. 5 months, that's 35. So he must have started with 18 in the very beginning. Okay, so that's my equation. So my equation is slope plus y-intercept. But their question is, how many will we have after 24 months? So I need to plug in 24 in for x. So the number of video games, which is y, would be 7 times the number of months plus 18. Okay, so you punch this guy into a calculator and you get 186. So he would have 186 video games after 24 months.